For 1,000 years, the galaxy had known peace. No wars, no battles, just quiet stars and calm planets. Earth was safe. Humans thought they could live like this forever, but peace can be fragile. One cold night, deep in the blackness of space, something woke up. A small space probe, lost for hundreds of years, suddenly turned on. It sent a strange signal back to Earth. The signal was a warning that no one on Earth wanted to hear. Captain Mark Jensen sat alone in the quiet control room of the Earth Space Defense Command. His eyes were fixed on the screen. The signal from the probe blinked steadily. It was unusual, different from anything they had seen before. The probe had been sent a long time ago, during the time of the First Galactic War. It was supposed to watch the edge of the galaxy for any sign of danger, but it stopped sending messages hundreds of years ago. Everyone thought it was lost forever. Now it was sending a warning. The message was short but clear. Danger is coming. Alien fleet detected. Prepare for war. Mark frowned. He was a young man, just 30 years old, but he had a sharp mind and a strong heart. He believed in his people, humans. But many of the older leaders did not want to believe the message. They thought it was a mistake. Maybe the probe was broken. Maybe it was a false alarm. General Ellis, the head of the Earth Defense, was in a meeting with the leaders of the Earth Council. They argued about what to do. "We have lived in peace for too long," said one council member. "Why should we prepare for war now? Maybe the probe sent the wrong signal." "We cannot ignore this," said Mark when he was called into the meeting. "The probe was designed to detect threats. This signal is not a mistake." "But no other race is acting scared," said another leader. "Why would an alien fleet come now after so many years of peace?" Mark knew the answer. The silence before a storm. That night, Mark looked at the stars from the window of his small apartment. He thought about his family, about Earth, and about the future. What if the probe was right? What if the galaxy was about to change forever? His phone beeped. A message from the Space Command. Prepare for possible attack. Mark felt a chill. This was no longer just a warning. It was a call to action. The next day, Earth's Space Command began to move. Ships were put on alert. Scientists worked day and night to understand the signal better. Mark was chosen to lead a special team, a group of humans who would investigate the threat. They would travel to the edge of the galaxy, where the probe detected the alien fleet. As Mark prepared his ship, the news spread across Earth. People were scared but also curious. For the first time in 1,000 years, Earth was preparing for war. The journey was long and dangerous. Mark and his team flew through empty space, passing stars and planets. The closer they got to the edge of the galaxy, the more tense the team became. One night, while everyone was resting, Mark sat alone in the ship's observation room. Suddenly, the ship's alarm rang loud. "Commander, we are detecting a fleet," said the radar officer. Mark looked at the screen. Hundreds of ships appeared, huge and dark, moving fast. "They are here," Mark said quietly. The alien fleet was not like anything humans had seen before. Their ships were large, with strange shapes and glowing lights. They did not send any signals. They were silent, deadly. Mark knew this was just the beginning. Back on Earth, the leaders finally agreed. The peace was over. War was coming. But the humans were ready to fight. They did not fear the unknown. They were strong, united, and brave. Mark looked at the stars again and whispered, "We will not run. We will stand and fight." And so, the millennium of peace ended. The war had begun. The silence of space was broken suddenly. Without any warning, the alien fleet attacked Earth's outer defense stations. Explosions lit up the dark sky like fireflies. Earth's soldiers scrambled, surprised and scared. Captain Mark Jensen was already on his way back from the edge of the galaxy. His team had seen the fleet. Now the fleet had come to Earth. In the command center, alarms screamed. Red lights flashed everywhere. "Enemy ships entering Earth's orbit," shouted the radar officer. Mark's heart raced. He knew this was the real test, not just to survive, but to fight back. The aliens struck fast and hard. Their ships fired, powerful beams destroying satellites and defense stations. Many humans lost their lives in the first minutes, but the humans were not ready to give up. Mark's ship, the Defiant, led a small fleet to meet the attackers. The Defiant was an old ship, but its crew was skilled and fearless. "Hold your positions," Mark ordered. "We fight for Earth." The battle began in the cold void of space. Laser beams and missiles flew everywhere. The aliens' ships were bigger and more advanced, but humans had something more: courage and quick thinking. Mark's team used smart tactics. They worked together like a single machine. One ship would distract the enemy while others attacked from the side. They used the asteroids as cover, hiding behind space rocks to avoid enemy fire. Suddenly, a huge alien warship appeared. It was the flagship of the fleet. It fired a massive blast aimed directly at the Defiant. The blast hit the ship's shield and made it shake violently. Sparks flew inside the control room. "Damage report," Mark shouted. "Shield's holding, but we won't last long," the engineer replied. Mark knew they had to act fast. Using quick decisions, Mark ordered the crew to launch a surprise attack. They fired a powerful missile at the alien flagship's weak spot, a glowing blue core at the center. The missile hit its target perfectly. The alien flagship shuddered, then exploded in a ball of fire. The other alien ships hesitated. They had never seen humans fight like this. They thought humans were weak, but now they saw something different: strength and fearlessness. Mark's fleet pushed forward. They destroyed several enemy ships and forced the rest to retreat. Back on Earth, people watched the news in shock and hope. "Humans are fighting back," the news anchor said. "Our defenders are showing true courage. Maybe we can win this war." Mark returned to Earth a hero, but he knew the fight was far from over. "What is their secret?" a young scientist asked him. Mark smiled slightly. "We have no secret. Just one thing, and here we don't give up." The galaxy was changing fast. The Millennium of peace had ended, and humans had welcomed the fight. After the first battle, the galaxy was watching Earth closely. The alien races that had lived in peace for centuries were now confused. They saw humans fighting fiercely and winning. Many had never seen such courage. On Earth, Captain Mark Jensen and his team prepared for what was next, but they knew they could not fight this war alone. They needed allies. A few days after the battle, an unexpected visitor arrived at Earth's space station. The visitor was an alien diplomat from the powerful Zorlan Empire, called Ambassador Vex. Vex was tall, with silver skin and glowing green eyes. He spoke slowly and carefully. "I have come with a message," Vex said to Earth's leaders. "The Zorlan Empire has watched your fight. You are strong. We offer alliance. Join us against the common enemy." The leaders looked at each other. Could they trust Vex? Was this offer real or a trap? Captain Mark was called to meet Ambassador Vex in a secure room. "You humans are different," Vex said. "Most races run from war, but you face it head-on. That is why the Zorlan want to join you." Mark thought carefully. "We appreciate your offer, but how can we be sure the Zorlan are truly our friends?" Vex smiled slightly. "Because the enemy threatens us all. They seek to destroy every civilization that stands in their way." Meanwhile, not all aliens agreed with Vex's offer. Some feared that if humans grew stronger, they would lose power. Others saw humans as dangerous and unpredictable. One secret group called the Shadow Council met in the dark. They planned to stop the alliance and keep humans weak. Back on Earth, Mark's team worked hard to build trust with new alien allies. They shared technology, training, and strategies. Mark learned about the Zorlan's powerful weapons and taught them human tactics, teamwork, bravery, and quick thinking. One night, Mark received a secret message. It said, "Beware. Someone near you is a traitor." Mark's heart sank. Could someone on Earth be working with the enemy? He decided to find the traitor before it was too late. The galaxy was no longer peaceful. Friends and enemies were hard to tell apart. Mark knew this war would not be won by weapons alone. It would be won by trust, courage, and sharp minds. He looked at the stars and whispered, "We are not alone. But who can we trust?" The days after the alliance were tense. Captain Mark Jensen felt the weight of the galaxy on his shoulders. Trust was fragile, and every shadow seemed to hide a secret. The secret message about a traitor haunted him. Who could it be? A human? An alien ally? Or someone working for the enemy? Mark decided to act carefully. He called his closest team members for a meeting in the secure room. "We have a spy," he said quietly. "Someone is passing our secrets to the enemy. We must find them before it's too late." The team looked around nervously. No one spoke. Everyone was afraid. Trust was breaking down. Mark assigned tasks to each member. They would watch each other, check communications, and follow suspicious actions. Days passed with tension rising. Small mistakes were noticed. A secret message sent at odd hours, strange meetings in hidden corners. Mark's best friend, Lieutenant Sarah Khan, found something strange on the ship's communication logs. A message encrypted and sent to an unknown location. They traced it to a small moon near Earth. Mark knew they had to investigate immediately. On the moon, Mark and his team found a hidden base, dark and quiet. Inside, they discovered stolen Earth technology and alien weapons. Suddenly, a shadow moved. It was Commander Rel, one of the trusted alien allies. "Why?" Mark asked, shocked. Rel smiled coldly. "Your victory is temporary. The real war is just beginning. I serve those who will win." Before Mark could react, alarms rang. Reinforcements from the enemy fleet were closing in. Mark's team fought, hard to escape. They barely made it back to their ship, but the betrayal cut deep. Back on Earth, news of the traitor shocked everyone. People feared that more spies could be hiding among them. Mark stood before the Earth Council and said, "This war is not just about battles in space. It is about who we can trust, and how strong we are when we stand together." That night, Mark looked at the stars again. The galaxy was full of dangers, seen and unseen, but humans had a secret weapon: hope, and as long as they held on to that hope, they would fight, no matter what came next. The betrayal had shaken Earth's defenses, but it also opened human eyes to a new reality. War was not just about machines and ships. It was about people. Captain Mark Jensen knew this better than anyone. The enemy expected fear, but they did not expect human spirit. On the training grounds, Mark watched young soldiers prepare for battle. Some were scared, others angry, but all were determined. One soldier caught his attention, a young woman named Lily. She was small but fierce, with eyes full of fire. Lily's story was like many others. She had lost her family in the first strike. She wanted revenge, but she also wanted to protect Earth. Mark decided to meet Lily. "You have fire," he said. "That's what we need." Lily nodded. "I want to fight, but I'm afraid I won't be enough." Mark smiled. "No one fights alone. We fight together. That's the human way." As the war grew, humans discovered something strange. The alien enemy was powerful, but they lacked one thing: unity. Different alien races fought among themselves, jealous and fearful. Humans, by contrast, were united by hope and trust. Mark's team used this to their advantage. They sent messages to friendly alien races encouraging peace and alliance. Slowly, more races joined Earth's side. The galaxy's balance was shifting, but the enemy was not waiting. One night, Earth's defense radar detected a massive fleet approaching, bigger than anything before. The message was clear: the final battle was coming. Mark prepared his team for the fight of their lives. He looked at Lily and said, "This is what we have trained for. We fight for our home, for our future." Lily clenched her fists. "We won't lose." The stars outside shone cold and distant. The millennium of peace was over. But the human spirit burned brighter than ever. The enormous enemy fleet loomed on the edge of Earth's solar system like a dark storm ready to burst. Captain Mark Jensen stood on the command deck of the Defiant, staring at the stars with a calm but fierce determination. "This is it," he said softly. "The moment we've been preparing for." The crew worked quickly, checking weapons, shields, and communication lines. Every second counted. The alien ships moved closer, their war engines humming ominously. The sky above Earth glowed with strange lights as battle drones swarmed. Mark's voice echoed through the ship. All units prepare for combat. We fight not just for ourselves, but for every life on Earth. The battle started with a deafening roar. Explosions erupted in space, and laser beams cut through darkness like lightning. Mark piloted the Defiant with skill and courage, dodging enemy fire and returning powerful blasts. Beside him, Lily fired missiles at the enemy, her hands steady, despite the chaos. The enemy was relentless. Their fleet was larger and stronger, but Mark's fleet had one advantage: the human spirit. The humans fought with everything they had, working together like one machine. They shielded their weaker ships and attacked enemy weak points. Suddenly, an alien commander appeared on the enemy flagship's bridge. He was huge, with armor that gleamed like a black star. "We will crush you, humans," he growled. Mark's eyes narrowed. "Try." The battle raged for hours. Ships exploded and brave pilots fell. But Mark never gave up. Then Mark spotted the enemy flagship's weak core again, the same place his missile hit before. He ordered a risky plan. "We strike their core at once." The fleet moved as one, a wave of fire and hope. The missile hit perfectly. The flagship shook violently, then exploded in a massive fireball. The enemy fleet faltered. Confusion spread among them. Mark's voice rang out over the comms. "This is our moment. Push forward for Earth." The enemy retreated. Earth's defenders cheered, but Mark knew the war was not over yet. They had won a great battle, but the fight for the galaxy's future was still ahead. The enemy fleet had retreated, but the cost was heavy. The stars were quiet now, but Earth was not the same. Captain Mark Jensen stood on the bridge looking at the broken sky. So many had fought and fallen. The war had changed everything. Soldiers walked among the ruins of old stations and damaged ships. Families waited anxiously for news of their loved ones. The pain was real, but so was hope. Mark turned to Lily, now a respected leader. "We won this battle, but the galaxy still watches. Peace will not come easy." Lily nodded. "We have shown the universe what humans can do, not just with weapons, but with courage and heart." The galaxy had seen a new power: humans who would fight for what they loved no matter the cost. Ambassador Vex returned to Earth, this time with a message of true friendship. "The Zorlan Empire stands with you," he said. "Together we will rebuild and protect the galaxy." Mark looked at the stars once more. The war had ended, but a new journey had begun. Humans had survived the storm and now faced the future, stronger, united, and ready. As dawn broke over Earth, Mark whispered, "A millennium of peace may have ended, but a new era begins, and this time humans will lead."